Welcome to Excel Shorts. Today we're going to talk about critical navigation techniques in Excel. So first we're going to start with just cleaning up the format of this sheet. You can see we have some example expense data here, and the first thing I'm going to do is going to adjust the font because currently this does not match to this. So you can see up here we have the font name. This is Calibri. This is a body. I'm going to change this to be Calibri, and you can see that I just selected everything in the table very quickly. The way that I did that is select the cell, select Control and Shift and hold at the same time, and that will highlight everything when you click the right arrow. Now if you just held Shift and then use the arrows, you can see that it just highlights each cell. If you just press and held Control and hit left or right, it would bring you all the way to the end of a set of data. And if you use both, pressing and holding Shift and Control, it does both, going from one side of the data, end of the data, to the other, and highlighting them at the same time. So that's how we just selected this entire data set. And now I'm going to go up here to the font selection and just type in Calibri. Now we have our font in Calibri, which is what we wanted. I'm actually going to make the borders a different color by just going to all borders, and the default is black. If you wanted to do different colors, you could go down and select different colors, but I'm going to keep it with black for now. And then you can see here that our columns aren't the greatest width. We have furnishings that's cut off and household supplies that's cut off. I'm going to just click the column and go ahead and pull that over to the right. And you can actually do that with multiple columns at once as well, and it'll auto adjust all the different columns. So I think that should be good there. And now I'm going to do a little shortcut here. This works for both rows and columns, but I'm going to click on the row. I'm going to click Shift and hold Shift, and then just press the down arrow until we get to the bottom of our data set. And now I'm just going to double click on the row, on the little line in between each row, and that's going to clean up our data and consolidate each row to be the shortest that it needs to be. Now, I'm also going to select all of our expenses, example expenses here by clicking and holding Shift and Control. I'm going to turn this into a dollar value because they truly are. I'm just going to go up here to number. You can see that there's a lot of different options in this drop down. We're going to select currency. You can do currency or accounting. And lastly, for this data set here, I'm going to center. Again, clicking and holding Shift and Control, right arrow, selecting this entire top row. I'm going to center this text both in the center of the cell vertically and horizontally. Then I'm going to add a shade to the cells. So if you go up to alignment, you can see these couple boxes here. You can either center middle, center top, center down. We're going to center middle and then center middle. You can do left, right, center. This is the look that I'm going for. And then you can select a fill color as well. I'm just going to select gray. Now I'm going to get rid of these grid lines actually. This is something that I think just makes a spreadsheet look nicer if you're okay with not having grid lines. So if you go up to View, Show, and then Grid Lines, unselect Grid Lines, we'll see that the sheet now is just a blank white. That's the default background. Now, I'm also going to show you two last tricks before concluding this video. When you're editing a cell, let's say you needed to edit the cell D7, where it currently says Amazon. you can actually hit F2, and then that will actually bring you into the cell, and you can type whatever you will. You can do that with any cell. So I'm just clicking F2, and that's how we get into the cell very quickly. Now, if you wanted to edit text in a cell, I just hit F2. Now you can actually hit, just like we selected cells with Shift and Control, we can do that within a cell as well. So I'm just going to press and hold Control, left arrow, and you can see that that brought us to the beginning of the cell. Now I'm going to click and hold Shift and do right arrow, and you can see we're highlighting parts of the text in the cell. Or again, you can do both. I'm going to hit Shift and Control and then left arrow, and you'll see that it'll highlight the entire text inside. And those are really good shortcuts to be able to toggle between different texts. For example, in household supplies, I hit F2, hit Control, left arrow, right arrow, we're flying in between all the different texts within this cell. And lastly, I'm going to show a couple different ways to copy and paste data. So I'm just going to select, clicking and holding and then dragging down a couple different cells here, the name of the vendor. If you go up to Home, you can copy that data. You can also do Control-C. Control-C. I'm going to click over here, and you can, of course, just do Control-V to paste that data. You can also go up here, and this is a relatively unknown trick. You can click on this down arrow for paste. There's all these different options. The standard is just straight up paste. You can also do paste formulas and number formatting, paste values, which essentially pastes the text or the numbers without any of the formatting, values and number formatting, etc. This becomes very useful if you're working with different formats of data sets. But for now, I'm just going to do paste values. And you can see that it pasted it in the default size of font size 11, whereas previously it was font size 10. If this had different color texts and we wanted to paste it all as the same color and the same background, again, copy, go up to paste, paste values. We now don't have the red text or the highlighted background. And that concludes this Excel short on critical navigation techniques in Excel. If you found this video useful, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends or coworkers. Thank you for watching.